Hey everyone, Alvin here from One More Week to Go. This is part 2 of my Qatar Qsuite trip report flying from Cairo to Seattle through Doha. If you haven't seen part 1 where I fly from Cairo to Doha on the A350, I highly recommend you watch that one first. See the link in the description. Our transfer in Doha was only about 2.5 hours, so after deplaning we went to the Mourjan Lounge to take a shower and freshen up before the next flight. As we walked towards the lounge, I found myself admiring the architecture of the airport as well as the futuristic looking airport trains. The Mourjan Lounge is located airside on level 3, up a set of escalators. It's open 24/7 and accessible by business class passengers flying Qatar Airways or other oneworld airlines. The Mourjan Business Lounge is regarded as one of the best business class lounges in the world for good reason. This lounge spans an impressive 10,000 square meters and looks gorgeous with the high ceilings and stunning architecture. Upon entering the lounge, you are greeted by this classy water feature and a spiral staircase that leads up to the a la carte dining area. If you're more of a buffet person, you can find that on the other side of this lounge as well. Throughout the lounge, there are a huge variety of seating options, and almost all of them come with charging ports and outlets. Showers are also available, as well as a quiet area with nap pods. I wish I had more time to try out the dining options and just enjoy this lounge. Next time I'll have to choose a longer layover in Doha. Pretty soon it was time to head to the gate for our next flight to Seattle. Along the way we stopped to say hi to the famous giant teddy bear that is apparently worth $6.8 million. The airport was also very busy at this time. 5:30 to 7:30 in the morning is apparently rush hour at Hamad International, with lots of flights leaving within a short amount of time. After a very long walk through a very busy airport, we finally got to our gate C11, where we had to go through another security screening. It was a bit chaotic as there were a lot of people being crammed into a small waiting area post-security with not enough seating. After about a 20-minute delay, boarding finally began.
Thank you.
Welcome aboard.
Of course.
For this flight, I had picked seat 8K, which is a rear-facing window seat in the smaller business class cabin. At first glance, the seat looks very similar to the one on the A350, but there are some differences which I'll get to during the seat tour. Now for the seat tour, where we can do a bit of a comparison between the Qsuite on the 777 and the Qsuite on the A350 from the previous video. The screen is the same, as well as the tray table. A large purple blanket is provided, which I will try out later. The legroom is great, similar amount of space as the A350. The side table is where I noticed the first big difference. It is much smaller on this 777.
And welcome back to our privilege club and One World frequent flyer member.
Since this is a longer flight at 14 hours, you are provided with pajamas from the White Company. Similarly, the storage compartment under the side table is also smaller in this seat. The amenity kit is provided by Tipetique. We'll check out the contents later. The arrangement of the seat controls, iFi controller, power ports, and headphone jack are largely identical to the A350.
We also ask that you switch your electronic keys for
Similarly, you'll find the literature pocket down here with a safety card and Qsuites seat manual. The armrest compartment is again much smaller on this 777. The layout is the same, you just get less space. In here you'll find the noise-cancelling headphones and a bottle of water. You can raise and lower the armrest like so. The reading light and coat hook can be found up here.
Attention all ground staff to leave the aircraft immediately. Attention all ground staff to leave the aircraft immediately. Thank you.
Provided on the seat are two cushions, one smaller white one that you can actually take home with you, and a larger one that you cannot. The smaller armrests along the inside can also be raised and lowered. I was happy to see the individually adjustable air nozzles above my seat. Compared with the more open and airy A350 cabin we just flew in on our way to Doha, I noticed that the overhead bins here on the 777 do make it feel a bit more closed in. Not claustrophobic by any means, but I think worth mentioning. As we climb to cruising altitude, it's a good time to check out the amenities provided. The amenity kit, as I mentioned, is provided by Diptyque and includes Diptyque body lotion, face cream and lip balm, socks, and Diptyque natural spray. I thought the content seemed a bit light compared to offerings from other airlines. Noise-cancelling headphones are provided. They fit comfortably and sounded great. Let's take a look at what Qatar offers in their on-demand dining menu. After takeoff, I was served my post-departure beverage, a pineapple punch, which was very tasty. My table was then set up for a light meal service, starting off with the artisan bread served alongside butter and jam. I really like this lantern thing that they include with the meal service. It's not a real candle, of course, but adds a nice touch. I was still a bit full from the previous flight, so I just ordered some light dishes, starting off with the mango yogurt, which was nice and refreshing. I also ordered the Thai chicken khao soi with egg noodles. It looks kind of sad, but it actually tasted quite decent. Or maybe I was just really craving Asian food at the time. I had a hot mint tea to go along with it. After my short meal, I went to check out the lavatories. The design and amenities offered were similar to the A350 from earlier. Hand lotion and facial spray are provided by Diptyque. The size is quite generous, plenty of space to move around. On this 777, the flight map being used was one of those older ones which wasn't interactive and only cycled through a preset selection of map views. I was pretty surprised by this as it's such a big contrast with the Qatar's Oryx One entertainment system. I'm not sure if all their 777s are like this or if it was just this one. With that said, let's check out the in-flight entertainment options. The interface of Qatar's Oryx One system is quite simple and easy to navigate. The touchscreen was snappy and responsive. Plenty of entertainment options that should suffice for even a long flight like this one. However, I did notice there were some differences with the selection on this 777 compared to the A350. For example, the movie Titanic was available on the A350, but I really couldn't find it on this flight. If you don't want to lean forward to operate the touchscreen TV, you could also use the dockable IP controller instead. Qatar offers Wi-Fi for the entire flight for $10 USD, which I thought was a pretty good deal, so I went ahead and purchased it. It worked on and off at mediocre speeds, but largely cut out while we were flying over the northern polar regions. As I was getting pretty tired from having been awake for so long, I think it's time to check out the pajamas, blankets, and bedding. Qatar provided pajamas from The White Company. I didn't bother to change into them, but they felt pretty soft to the touch. I did use the slippers though. The crew offered to set up my seat with the mattress pad if I wanted to get some rest. Even if I wasn't using it in the lie flat position the whole time, it still added some nice padding to the seat for when I was lounging and relaxing. Here's a quick look at the seat in the bed configuration. I personally felt there was a lot of room for me to move around and I didn't feel cramped at all. The blanket that Qatar provides feels silky smooth and comfortable. I had it wrapped around myself for much of the flight. With the doors closed, you're able to experience utmost privacy, making it one of the best features of the Qsuites seats. For the next few hours of the flight, I alternated between watching movies, ordering drinks and snacks, looking out the window at the passing scenery, or simply dozing off. It was a very carefree and enjoyable way to pass the time. With a few hours left to go in the flight and feeling recharged after some intermittent napping, I decided I was hungry enough to fully enjoy the main meal service. I started things off with the broccoli miso soup. I don't know what Qatar does to their soups, but both soups I've tried so far were amazingly good. I loved the Arabic meze that I had on the previous flight so much that I ordered it again for this meal. It was presented beautifully in exactly the same way as before and tasted just as good. I couldn't decide what to get for the main entree, so I asked the crew for a recommendation. They recommended me this, the char-grilled kofta and lamb chops. I'm glad I asked for the recommendation as it was delicious. I wrapped up the meal with this cute mango and passion fruit Easter egg. I really appreciated the presentation and it tasted great as well. For drinks, I ordered a cappuccino and a saffron karak chai, which paired very nicely with the dessert. After the meal, a fresh towel was handed out along with a small box of Lavatories chocolates. It was a long and enjoyable flight, but it was finally time to descend into Seattle. It looked to be a pretty wet and cloudy spring day, a stark contrast to the hot desert plains of Egypt and Qatar, a perfect reminder that we were back in the Pacific Northwest. All good things must come to an end, and with that it's time to offer my closing thoughts. These two flights from Cairo to Doha to Seattle was my first time flying on Qatar. I had heard great things about them before, and I was always curious to try it out myself. After flying with them on 2 flights, I can say that all the praise about Qatar is justified. Qatar's Qsuites business class is one of the best I've flown on. The cabin and seat not only look great, but are also very functional and spacious, offering tons of storage space and intuitive, well-placed controls. The presence of a door really takes privacy to the next level. Food was overall excellent, both in terms of taste and presentation. The option to dine on demand allows you to really tailor the flight to your preferences. The crew on both flights went above and beyond. They were all super friendly and attentive, from making sure the washroom was spotless after every use, to proactively suggesting snacks to go along with my beverage choices. They really made sure to give the passenger a great experience. If I had to pick between the Qsuites on the A350 or the 777, I'd pick the A350 for sure. There is less wear and tear on the A350 seats, and as I mentioned earlier during the seat tour, the side table and storage are also larger on the A350. The lack of overhead bins in the middle also makes the A350 feel a lot more airy and spacious. Oh, and also the A350 has tail cams. And with that, it brings this long 2-part Qatar trip report to a close. I hope you enjoyed following along on my first Qatar Airways experience. Be sure to like this video and subscribe to my channel for more high-quality aviation content. Consider hitting the little bell icon as well to be notified when I release future videos. Thanks for watching, happy travels, and I'll see you in the next one.